Lakshminadasamaarambham Nadayamunamadhyamam Asmadacharyapariyandam Vande Guruparambaram. Namaste. We saw in the earlier episode why Vedas are supreme, because it is Apaurushyam, not authored by a human. It is Anadi, it is timeless, times immemorial, and is Anantam. It has got everything in it. We know that the Vedas have been grouped by Vedavyasa Maharishi as Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, and Atharva Veda. These four Vedas have got these four aspects that we are going to discuss now. Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyaka, and Upanishad. These are the four aspects that we are going to look at. Samhita is basically the grammar or the rules of pronouncing every mantra in the Vedas. Now, we all know that the Vedic tradition is an oral tradition. There are no books in it. People, like Acharya, it imparts this knowledge to the disciples. Disciples learn orally, practice orally, and then they grow up learning. They start using it orally and they start imparting it orally. It's completely an oral tradition. That means the basic question will come is, what if I'm an Acharya and I make a mistake in my understanding or pronunciation, or even change the word, what happens? Is the knowledge carried like that? Because it's oral tradition. If somebody is learning from me and I am teaching them incorrectly, then that becomes a knowledge by themselves. So this question will happen to all of us. But here is the brilliance of the Vedas itself, that the Samhita has got 11 paths to it, and each path is intertwined in a way it is pronounced. So the very important fact to note is the meter, as I said, is defined very clearly for each of the path. Anywhere I change a word or change the meter, it has a cascading effect. That means somebody will spot and say something is wrong. It is impossible to figure, to tamper with this or to make an incorrect aspect. That is the best and scientific form of the Vedas because of the Samhitas. The Brahmanas. Brahmanas is basically the process and steps to perform a particular ritual. As we mentioned, we rely on Vedas for everything. Be it a function for a childbirth, or be it to perform Rajasuya Yaha, to conquer the entire world, everything is defined in the Vedas. So what do? Is to basically, once we learn the Vedas exactly through the Samhitas and the process in which it has to be learned, then we apply it in the Brahmanas, where if, for example, if I want to perform Ashwamedha Yaha, Yajna, I know how to perform because it's defined in the Brahmanas, clear structure. If I want to perform Rajasuya Yaha, then it is defined as to how I should perform. Very interesting fact to notice, there is so much of mathematics and science in it, it is unbelievable. The Homakunda, because Agni Deva is a prime source for almost all of our yajnas, and we have to invite Agni Deva to bless the whole yajna. What do? We perform a Homakunda and then put the Agni Deva there. How is this Homakunda defined? You will be surprised when you learn there what is current day scientists and mathematicians call as Pythagoras theorem is all there eons back in our Vedas. What is named after Pythagoras probably 300, 400, 500 years back, we had 10,000, probably few 100,000 years back, clearly defined. The more we learn all these things, the more realization we get. So in the Brahmanas, it is about the procedures to do everything. Now, visualize this. A child is born. Through the stage of Brahmacharya, the child learns everything from the Acharya. Then the child gets into the Grihastha Ashrama by marrying and getting into the wedlock. So this is exactly two analogies. So Samhita is where we can equate to a Brahmacharyam days, where a child is under the guidance of the Acharya, learns everything, syntax, the way it has to be pronounced, the meter, the rules, everything clearly. Now the child is grown and gets into wedlock as Grihastha and starts performing the yajna as a Brahmana. So these are two parallels that we can do. So there are four things we know, right? Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha and Sannyasa. Four stages in which a human transforms from being a child before he or his life ends. So two stages we saw, Brahmacharya and Grihastha. The third stage is Vanaprastha. Vanaprastha, as we know, is jungle. Those were the days when the kings and emperors, after they relinquish their position where the prince becomes the king, they don't sit there and keep needling things. They retire to the forest in seeking of more knowledge. Like this, And if the king is doing that, ordinary mortals within that hamlet, within that villages will also do the same thing. As they get convincing results after results by performing yajna. If the place didn't have rains for 2 seasons, they perform Varuna Japa and then they get rains. So they know that this works. They trust in Vedas, the way they have learned and the way they are supposed to use, they are using, and they are seeing results. They are totally convinced. Now they start seeking more knowledge. Is Vedas only so materialistic that it will give me a baby, it will give me rains, it will give me kingdom? There should be something more. So they start seeking more. Where do they go? They go to Aranyakam. That's the third aspect, where they go to a guru who is already there in the Aranyakam seeking more information, and then surrenders to that guru over there and then seeks more information and more inner truths that they seek. And they go dwell deeper and deeper into Vedas, and then they do. So we saw Samhita, which is basically the rules and syntax and how it has to be learnt and pronounced. Then we have the Brahmanas, the process to perform any ritual. And then we saw Aranyaka, where people move to the forest and in the quest for more knowledge. Now the fourth stage, which is equivalent to the sannyasa stage, they go Upanishad. The Upanishad is basically being closer to knowledge. So this is the stage that they actually get more and more knowledge, understand the relationship between the body and Atma, Atma and Paramatma. We all know there is Jivatma, we all know there is Paramatma. At what stage we know? Because of the conviction that I get by performing the rituals, by following the Vedas, by learning the Vedas properly, I know that this body and soul are different. Body is just the carrier of soul, body is perishable, soul is immortal. But this soul, is it supreme by itself? No, it belongs to Paramatma. So we know what is Jivatma, we know what is Paramatma. So they go to the Upanishads, which is the Vedanta, understand deeper about the nature of Jivatma, nature of Paramatma, the relationship between Jivatma and Paramatma, and how Jivatma can reach Paramatma. So this is what, in short, what is a very strong and deeper foundation for our own Sanatana Dharma is explained in Vedas. To quickly sum up, we know that the Vedas are supreme because it is Apaurishayam, it is Anadi, it is Anantam. Then the Vedas, I have 4 Vedas, Rig, Yajur, Sama and Atharva. And each of these 4 Vedas have 4 aspects, Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyaka and Upanishad. So let's go deeper from here in the next session. Namaste.